high efficiency windows and doors, and then we also added a white roof to reduce the heat islanding effects. And here you can see that's the picture of the white roof, and obviously we have a flat roof building, and we had a black rubber roof on that before. There are some issues with white roofs. Some of the challenges and questions that we came across as we were doing this is, first of all, is it worth the extra $2,000 or $3,000 that we spent for it? The other question was, what happens in the wintertime when you have thawing and freezing? Is the white roof going to keep the ice up longer and cause puddling and leaking of the roof? So there's always issues that you need to consider when installing these technologies. Efficient lighting systems, passive lighting. You can see on this picture here, we installed a clear story. We were planning on a skylight. Skylights are very expensive. They tend to leak. And so this is a nice architectural feature, as well as accomplish what we wanted to do and bring light further into the building. Then we installed motion sensors for lighting and highly efficient fluorescent lighting as well in the building. And then you can see that try to make the best use of daylighting to light the entire facility, even though it was a remodel from the early 70s, which was kind of a difficult challenge. So geothermal heating and cooling, as Chris mentioned, usually higher initial capital costs, usually a very reasonable payback. In this geothermal heating and cooling provides the core system for the Research and Outreach Center. We updated and expanded the existing system. We installed 15 new heat pumps. And the reason why we have so many heat pumps, two reasons. First of all, to be able to control regions or areas of the building better. So, for example, in the wintertime when the wind's blowing out of the northwest and it's 30 below zero, you can heat that corner higher than other areas of the building. And then we also added 10 200-foot wells to the existing horizontal system. And that's the other reason for so many heat pumps. You're able to not draw so much heat from one well area. Because over time, if it's not designed properly, you could actually change the average temperature of that ground. We also wanted this to be a renewable energy test bed, so we installed initially 2 solar thermal systems. This first system here is a domestic hot water system. We purchased this from Solar Skies in nearby Starbuck, Minnesota. It has flat plate technology, and so it takes glycol water mix, brings it into the building, heats our domestic water for our restrooms and kitchenettes, and then that glycol water mix circulates back out to this field. We also installed another technology called vac-weighted tube technology. We have a little example in our display over at the student center. This utilizes glass tubes that have coatings on them to collect more of the thermal energy, transfer that thermal energy to a copper pipe, and then again that energy is transferred to a glycol water mix, brought into our building, and then used for heating and cooling. I'll talk a little bit more about that here a little later. Here you can see a picture of them installing those tubes just to get a little bit better idea of how that's done. And the exciting part about this system was this system was expensive for us to do the cooling. That's kind of the way that we feel that you can make the best use of the system. There aren't too many cooling systems available, but as we were putting this in, it was heating up so much, and it drew the attention of a lot of the local contractors that had to come up and take a look because they wanted to put it in their own shops. And here's the little system that we have down at the center for student center. So that particular system utilizes a chiller, absorption chiller, and here's a picture of that chiller, the 10-ton chiller, and a cooling tower. So the glycol water mix goes into the chiller through a chemical process. The water is chilled. The glycol water mix passes the energy on, and then a separate line chills the water, and that water is brought up to coils, which